Community Solidarity Stroud District. Bit of a mouthful. So we put together a statement about recent events, and we have been distressed to see the dramatic upsurge in racist violence recently as we were reeling from the horrific attack on children in Southport. Sadly, neither of these things have come out of the blue. Racism has been rising in recent years, particularly targeting Muslims and asylum seekers, refugees and migrants. But as always, entwined with anti-blackness and willing to scapegoat anyone who can be marginalised, as racists aim to promote forms of white supremacy and nostalgia for days of imperialism. CSSD exists to build community-led solidarity in the Stroud District, to oppose the hatred of minorities and oppressed people arising from false and harmful information. We launched in January 22 to challenge the way in which a paper handed out for free in our district and nationally, calling itself The Light, have defended a man convicted of inciting racial hatred for broadcasting threats of violent anti-Semitism. Since then, we've written extensively on how the Light paper promotes these ideas, organisations and individuals of the far right, including Tommy Robinson, whose work over the decades and recent reappearance on Twitter, or X, it's now known as, thanks to Elon Musk, has done so much to stoke the racist violence we have seen in recent weeks. In issue 31, The Light defended a previous protest that turned into a riot against asylum seekers being housed in a hotel in Liverpool, widely known to have been promoted by far-right organisations, including Patriotic Alternative. In March 2023, The Light sought to suggest that toxic masculinity and men's domination and rage of the kind resulting in the tragic consequences of the murders and violence inflicted in Southport could also be understood as men resorting to their innate biological responses in trying to cope when they find themselves trapped in an insane society. And in February this year, it published an article that claimed psychopathic elites were deliberately destroying society through a program of mass economic immigration of alien cultures, leading to the mass rape of young children. As This Ends Now has said recently, the weaponisation of this tragedy under the false guise of protecting women and girls is unacceptable, and a phenomenon we have seen before. This tragic crime should not be used as a justification for further hatred, racism and violence. Male violence against women and girls is an epidemic that cannot be solved by racist violence. We know that those of us who oppose the far right, racist and misogynist violence are many. Yet we must not be complacent, nor think that Stroud is immune. And we must remember that this is not only mainstream media organisations and politicians that have pushed this racist rhetoric, but publications and people representing themselves as alternative or independent. And let's not forget the so-called comedian Katie Hopkins, who called refugees cockroaches, and who the local far right brought to Stroud to do her stand-up act twice. In 2010, the far-right British National Party attempted to set up their media office in Salmon Springs in Stroud. Community opposition saw them off, but this year we've seen concerning developments. The recent general election featured an independent candidate for Stroud's MP, Saskia Whitfield, a person who publicly shared the most blatant far-right content. Her candidacy was supported by the info hub that sends out the Light paper. She thankfully won fewer than 300 votes. But while that's an embarrassing result of 0.3% of the vote, it's a significant number of people willing to vote for someone who thinks the UK fought on the wrong side in the Second World War. And of course, over 6,000 people in Stroud constituency voted for Farage's Reform Party and its attempt to scapegoat migrants for every problem in the UK, and many candidates with vile views. Earlier in the year, we saw the grim spectacle of people making excuses for two Nazi-themed meetings, one organised to mark Hitler's birthday and another to promote anti-Semitic conspiracy, the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, which the Nazis used to justify their genocide of European Jews. Though that group had organised these events, cancelled them, the Light Paper has since taken on the planned speaker, John Hamer, as a monthly contributor, giving him a platform to share anti-Semitic conspiracies about the reasons for the world wars. In recent years, we have seen the traditional far right joined and frequently supported by a new phenomenon, what others have called the cosmic right, mirror world, conspirituality, or diagonalism, where conspiracy influencers draw disillusioned, vulnerable, or fearful people into baseless theories and far-right bigotry. People interested in alternative ideas who are critical of how government managed the pandemic, or public services, or the climate crisis are being preyed on and recruited into movements that dress up old anti-Semitic conspiracies in new language, and present opposition to feminism and anything that can be deemed woke as part of a return to natural hierarchies, alongside their enthusiasm for natural medicine. As some of you will know, the Times revealed that the millionaire who first spread false information about the man who killed three children in Southport is known for spreading false information about COVID and climate change, as well as anti-trans bigotry. She has been promoted by Talk TV and GB News. The words in her tweet led, following amplification by a Russian fake news aggregator website and hateful grifters Robinson, Andrew Tate and Nigel Farage, to racist riots and attacks followed, making clear beyond doubt the terrible real-life consequences that can follow a few words of misleading racist content. CSSD have written more extensively about what I've talked about here on our website, so please ask if you'd like more information. We also have these t-shirts available, cost price £20. Come and see me if you'd like one. Thank you.
Thank you, Emma.